Hey, it's Pastor Dan from Dexter Gospel Church. Thanks for watching this Proverbs Practical. This proverb reminds us that the riches and power of this world are not reliable. We're in Proverbs 27, verse 24. It says, "For riches are not forever, and does the crown endure to every generation?" So this verse flows right along from the previous verse. It's looking at the blessings of the simple, pastoral kind of life. It urged people in that previous verse to pay attention to their possessions and investments, telling them to be diligent to know the state of their flocks and herds. That which is ignored is often lost. There may also be a gentle hint of reminder as we enter this verse that some things are easier to take away than others. Your currency might get devalued, and in a famine, nobody can eat gold. They might take the crown and give it to somebody else. But if you had a good flock or herd, you'd always have a way to make a living. Not only does this call us back to the awareness of the goodness of a simple life of sufficiency, this also warns against complacency. Riches are not automatic. Just because your parents were well-to-do does not guarantee that you always will be. Money doesn't just stay. It's always either coming or going. And if more is going than is coming, you will turn around someday and realize that you've run out. It's a pretty smart principle to remember, not only personally, but also governmentally. Our Western societies, and the U.S. in particular, have been so prosperous for so long that I'm afraid we tend to assume that will always be the case, and we don't have to pay attention to whether money is coming or going. But riches are not forever. What we ignore, we lose. We are not guaranteed permanent wealth and prosperity by God. If we were, whether as a government or as individuals, it would mean we'd no longer need to be reliant on Him in this life. And this didn't just apply to prosperity. It also applied to power and position. Even if your father was the king, does that automatically mean you will be? Does the crown endure to every generation? It might be easy as the oldest son of the king to become complacent, to assume that everything, the nation itself, was going to be handed to you on a silver platter. But the crown did not endure to every generation. Israel was in the middle of providing a prime example of this principle in action. Saul's family didn't hold the throne for long. David's oldest sons were not the rightful kings. Solomon himself was an exception to the normal rule of the line of kings. And Solomon's son, Rehoboam, perhaps the very young man that he's writing this to, is going to lose the throne over 10 of the tribes of Israel. He took it for granted. He presumed he could treat the nation with arrogance and a harsh hand, and they would fear and obey him, when in reality it estranged them and caused them to turn from him. He and his descendants did get Jerusalem for centuries longer, but they lost so much of what David and Solomon had. If he'd paid more attention to the state of things, the flock the Lord gave him, if you will, he might not have lost so much of it. So if there are things that you care about, don't take them for granted. Don't neglect to pay attention to them. So often it's actually the most important things that we assume will always be there. Whether it's a relationship, a position, a possession, that which is ignored is often lost. So pay attention. Never put it ahead of the Lord on your list, but don't let it drop off your list. I hope this video is a blessing to you. If so, give it a like. If you haven't, subscribe to our channel for more insight from the Scriptures. We'd love to see you in the comments, and we'd love to see you in person here at Dexter Gospel Church. Until next time, hope you stay well, and remember how easily some things are lost.